In today's episode, I'm making a pretty centerpiece that would be perfect for your wedding guest tables.
First step was to choose a font I liked and use my electronic die cutting machine to cut the words that I wanted to etch. And I cut them from Etch Mask, and I'm using the Etch All pick to remove the letters. I want the negative space on the stencil. To make sure I was getting my words on straight, I placed them onto the mirror before I peeled off the backing and used a permanent marker just to make guidelines to use for when I mounted them for etching. Once you've got all of those letters removed, I'm using the transfer paper that comes with the Etch Mask Stencil Combo Pack to transfer the text to the mirror. By using the etch mask, all the little pieces like the centers of letters, etc. stay in place, and it allows it to be much easier to place them on the mirror. I filled in the area around the stencil with some scrap pieces of the etch mask just to make sure I didn't get any cream where I didn't want it to be. Apply a thick coat of Etch All cream, allow it to sit for 15 minutes, then return the cream to the bottle because it's reusable, and wash your mirror and remove the etch mask. I wanted to frost the votive holder for the center of the centerpiece, and to do that I'm using Etch All's Dip and Etch liquid. I wanted to etch the inside and outside of the votive, so I placed it into a plastic container and then filled the container with the Dip and Etch to cover the entire piece. Allow it to set for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, you can return the Dip and Etch liquid to the bottle because it is reusable, and remove your etched item from the container. Then wash the votive thoroughly and allow it to dry. To make the pretty little embellishments for our piece, I'm using Activa's Ladal clay. This is a natural stone clay. It's soft and easy to use. It dries very smooth. It can be sculpted, it can be molded. It's very versatile. I used the Ladal clay in two different types of molds. I used a silicone mold to make the heart, and I used this solid mold to make the flowers. I simply pressed it into the molds and then it comes right out, and I used a craft knife to trim around the edges any excess clay. I allowed the pieces to dry for 24 hours, and then I wanted to add a little bit of a sheen and a touch of sparkle to them. And I'm using an interference paint to do that. It's primarily a white paint, but it has a luster, a shimmer, and this one is gold, so it's just a touch of a gold shimmer. I painted the top and sides of all the pieces and then let the paint dry. Once the paint was dry, I wanted to highlight the details a bit, so I lightly applied just a touch of gold metallic luster to the surface, and it brings out the details of those clay pieces. To add a little dimensional detail to the center of the flower, I'm using Judykin's gold glass beads. I just put a little adhesive in the center and then poured the gold beads over the glue using her snappy tray underneath, and you'll see why this is so nifty in a minute. You can use a paintbrush or something similar to brush away any excess beads that are not where you want them to be. In the bottom of the etched votive, I put some Scenics sand. I used white Scenics sand from Activa, and I wanted to add just a bit of sparkle to that, so I sprinkled in a few of those gold beads to the surface. Snappy trays are perfect to work on when working with glitter or small beads or anything like that, because the little spout allows you to pour them right back in the bottle with no mess. I used my adhesive to mount the heart and the flower pieces to the corner of the mirror. I set the votive in the center so I could determine placement, and then just removed it and went ahead and glued them in place. And this is the finished base for the votive. You simply place the votive in the center, and I'm using a little battery-operated tea light in the middle. These little centerpieces would be a lovely addition to your wedding tables or to your bridal shower tables.
We hope you're enjoying our Creative Centerpieces series, sponsored by Judykins, Etchall, and Activa products. Please follow us on social media and sign up on our website to be eligible to win a prize package full of products from some of our favorite sponsors. And remember, as we always say, when creativity knocks, open the door.